What's up, guys? I just wanted to make this quick video just to kind of show how movement sort of feels and the speed of the original Insurgency source. As a lot of people here are currently thinking a lot about how Sandstorm movement feels, and yeah, basically here at the top left you can see my velocity, and that's just my total velocity in like the direction that my character is moving. So if I'm walking forward and strafing, it's, you know, the direction I'm going, or the speed I'm going at in that direction. It works really well. So you can see here average sprint speeds at about 265, and obviously we can't really compare this number to anything in the new Sandstorm game. But you can see here as I turn, that speed, even though I'm turning really slowly, that speed sort of it sort of slows down just a little bit as I turn. Even though I'm barely turning, you can see that number drops just a little bit, you know, only like a couple percent. But you'll also see here now, if I start to do really tighter turns, the speed drops a lot faster. Now if I do a 180, it drops to like 0, and then I have to go through this whole acceleration. So you can kind of see here, I'm just gonna test like about how long does it take to go from 0 to max speed. All right, let's try that real quick and go. Boom. So it's pretty fast. Acceleration in this game is actually pretty quick, and you can see here if I'm 80 dancing, I hit that back to that max speed really quick. So a lot of people, I hear people complaining that the acceleration needs to be tweaked in Sandstorm, and I think that's sort of half true, but I don't really think like this kind of movement needs to feel sluggish, because I remember in the alpha this type of movement felt sluggish, and I think for smaller walking movements the game should feel crisp. But the problem with really high acceleration is that when you have like turns like this and 90-degree turns, in Sandstorm currently I don't think players are really getting any sort of movement reduction when they're turning. So that's what I think the game needs, and that's going to help a lot. In close quarters, you see people running through doorways, taking 90-degree turns, and then doing zigzags like this in open areas. And in this game, I'm zigzagging, but you can see here my speed is not doing too well, like overall, compared to just running straight. So I think that's really the main thing that people need to understand, is that the game should still be fast. I think running and as a sprint in a straight line should be fast, but I think the more that you turn, your speed should be reduced based on that. Basically, that will also just make players move more smoothly across the screen instead of looking really unlifelike. Because I mean, you can imagine a real runner to change the direction of your entire body when you're sprinting forward. You know, that's inertia. This game feels like there's some inertia. Like, it's realistic what your character is able to do, and you can actually see when my gun comes up right there. I'm holding Shift and W right now the whole time, but you can see like whenever I do a turn more than 90 degrees or like a 180 quickly, my gun actually kind of goes out of that sprinting animation pose. And that kind of actually gives me the player like some feedback that, you know, I'm getting slowed down because of this, and it just feels right. It just feels really right. And currently, I don't think Sandstorm has implemented any of this stuff yet. It is in beta, so that's understandable, and I'm pretty sure NWI actually knows this. Also, I think that the devs also know. So you can see here, I'm going to start doing sprinting forward and adding just strafe to it. My speed's actually lower when I do that. So my top speed is about, what was it, 264. Now when I add strafe to it, my overall speed is actually a little bit lower. So currently I think it's the case that in Sandstorm, when you add strafe into a sprint, it actually just adds, you know, your walking strafe speed onto it. You're going even faster, which doesn't really make sense. So that's all I wanted to demonstrate. I'm not going to go into Sandstorm here because it's changing every week, but I really think that the movement is really well done in this game, the source engine Insurgency, and I think if we can try to make it so that turning on a dime isn't quite as good in Sandstorm, I think that would help a lot with gameplay and just honestly the realism. Like the way people move in Sandstorm just feels really video gamey. It just feels like people are on rails, like a Tron bike, and they're just like able to snap really quickly and change direction and also tagging. So if the time to kill is gonna be more than 1 bullet, I do think getting shot should slow you down in some way. I don't know if that is currently implemented either, but tagging would also be helpful for taking down those fast sprinting players who are just sort of running through open areas, which really should be something you should be able to punish. And I don't think that'll take away from any of the skill of the game. I don't think it'll take away from the ability to play really aggressive and really fast. So I just think that it'll make overall the game feel a lot better. So yeah, thanks for watching.